Well, we made mistakes. The first pick was on me. And anytime you get...
We know you can't do those things and expect to win on the road, and so I got to get it fixed.
Kevin Stefanski's post-game comments weren't just another generic coach's response. They carried the weight of frustration, urgency, and a clear warning about the Browns' quarterback situation. After yet another game marred by costly mistakes, the Browns head coach admitted the team had a plan but failed to execute, particularly pointing to a punt return touchdown that should never have happened under their coverage schemes. But underneath those words, there was a louder message. The quarterback position is about to change, and fast. For weeks, Joe Flacco has been holding on by a thread. Once considered a steady veteran presence, he's now become the very embodiment of what Cleveland is trying to move past. Against the Detroit Lions, Flacco's flaws weren't hidden. They were on full display under the brightest of spotlights. Less than 50% completion, 2 brutal interceptions, and a lost fumble told the story of a man who may no longer belong in the league. What began as a promising start to the game spiraled into a disaster after a single dreadful throw flipped the momentum entirely. The Lions didn't just steal the football, they stole the game, and Flacco never recovered. To his credit, Flacco didn't shy away from responsibility. He admitted the first-half pick-six to Lions safety Kirby Joseph was entirely on him, not wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, who slipped on the route. But those words, however honest, rang hollow. His stat line, 16 completions on 34 attempts, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a lost fumble, wasn't just underwhelming, it was damning. A 17-year veteran making rookie-level mistakes left little room for excuses. Even Flacco himself seemed to know the walls were closing in. The reaction from Stefanski was telling. While he didn't outright name his next starter, his criticism of turnovers, combined with the decision to give rookie Dillon Gabriel some playing time, painted a clear picture. The Browns are looking ahead.
That's not nothing, in my place to answer. That's nothing I can't answer.
And they're not just looking to Gabriel. They're looking squarely at Shedeur Sanders. Sanders, brimming with confidence, has made no secret of his belief in his own ability. When asked about his readiness, he didn't hesitate. He stated bluntly that he knows he's capable of doing better than many of the quarterbacks currently starting in the NFL. And after watching Flacco's collapse in Detroit, it's hard to argue. His confidence isn't just bravado. It's conviction, backed by poise and a mentality that screams readiness. Sanders has insisted that he trusts in God's plan for him, remaining patient despite his frustrations. But his words also carry the weight of a man who feels his time is now. For Cleveland, this is no longer about waiting to see if Flacco can pull things together. It's about salvaging a season and sparking a future. Stefanski's subtle but sharp criticism was a signal. Mistakes won't be tolerated, not when the stakes are this high. Sanders has suddenly gone from a developmental project to a legitimate contender for the starting job, potentially as early as week 5. And the more Flacco falters, the stronger Sanders' case becomes. The Browns stand at a crossroads. Flacco represents the past, experienced, steady at times, but increasingly unreliable. Sanders represents the unknown, youthful energy, bold confidence, and the chance to ignite a franchise desperate for a fresh start. Fans can feel it. The players can feel it. Even Stefanski, careful with his words, is hinting at the inevitable. The Browns' future is inching closer to Shedeur Sanders, and it's not a matter of if he takes the reins, but when. The only question now is whether Sanders is truly ready for the pressure. Can he step into the spotlight and deliver the spark Cleveland so desperately craves? Or will the weight of expectation prove too much for the rookie? Browns fans, it's your turn to weigh in. Should the team stick with Joe Flacco a little longer? Or has the time come for Shedeur Sanders to seize the moment and lead this team into its next chapter? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more Browns updates, and join the conversation as this quarterback battle reaches its boiling point.